So today we will be discussing about efficient hybrid energy system, which consists of more than one energy sources. But before going to hybrid energy system, I would like that participant, if they will be able to clear, they will be hearing many terms. We have clean and source of energy. We have conventional sources of energy. We have renewable sources of energy. ये किसी का So we have different terms which we are hearing continuously, that we will be having clean sources of energy. Then we are hearing that they are renewable sources of energy, conventional sources of energy, and then we will be non-conventional sources or non-renewable sources of energy. If any participants who will give what difference between all these terms, anyone who can explain what is the difference between renewable sources of energy, non-renewable sources of energy, and clean source of energy and conventional source of energy? Any participant? No one is able to define or differentiate between these terms. We are hearing continuously these terms, and we are in the faculty development program.
Hello, sir. Renewables are inexhaustible, and conventional systems are the systems which are already available, means like steam generating systems, as well as hydropower systems. So the systems, the technology for which that is existing, already existing. No further dimension of research is available there. And non-conventional is that we have the scope for improving the technology further. And non-renewable means it is exhaustible, means the resources are limited.
Hydro will be coming under renewable or non-renewable?
Sir, large hydro will come under non-renewable, because emissions like methane can be emitted from the reservoirs, whereas small hydros we can consider that as renewable.
Any other participant? So now I will be starting. So we are renewable energy sources. The renewable energy is the energy that is collected from renewable resources which are naturally available, such as sunlight, wind, rain, tide, waves, geothermal heat, and all other naturally available resources. So we are hearing many terms like clean, renewable, conventional, non-conventional, or non-renewable sources of energies. So clean sources of energy are the sources which does not harm the environment when we are using them. So like thermal, they are not clean. But when we are talking about hydro, they will be coming under clean sources of energy. When we are talking about renewable sources of energy, so sources which is capable of renewal, and they will be not be exhaustive, and they will be easily available, and we does not require any kind of fuel for running of these type of energy sources. Then we have non-conventional sources which are new in the nature, and nowadays, because research is going on, almost all the energy sources are under rapid development. So we all are talking about, except thermal, we are in continuous process of developing the process. So all sources of energy which are in the development stage will be coming under non-conventional sources of energy. So we will be mainly, there are many type of sources which we are using for renewable sources, but generally we are using three type of sources: wind, solar, and hydro. We have thermal, we have tidal, we have geothermal, but generally they are very limited potential which we are using. Nowadays, maximum focus or maximum development is doing in the field of wind energy, hydro energy, and solar energy areas. So first we will be discussing about what is wind energy. So as the term indicates, wind energy is the source in which we will be using the wind speed for generation of electricity. So first we will be defining what is wind. So wind is the movement of air which will be caused by the uneven heating of Earth's surface. So whenever there is a movement of air, we have wind which produce a wind speed, and wind is produced when the sun shines on the earth, heating the land more quickly than the water. The warmer air will be moving towards cooler air, and it will produce a wind. Wind can be harnessed by sails, mills, turbines, and by living things. So we will be using this wind for generating the energy with the help of wind turbine. So we will be using the wind turbines that have blades which turn in the wind, that turns a turbine, and with the help of turbine we will be rotating the generators, and the generator will generating the electrical energy. So for producing, we will be constructing wind farms to produce the electricity. An effect of using wind on the environment, because wind turbines does not require any kind of fuel, or it will not be harmful for, and it will not affect wind. So wind turbines are very clean and producing no air or water pollution in the system. So important facts about the wind: we have wind turbine do not produce a lot of electricity and do not produce it all the time. So when we are talking about wind turbines, it will be not that we will be continuously getting the power. Wind turbine cannot be used in many areas, because for using the wind turbines we require that there will be a stable continuous wind resource must be available, because all the wind turbines which we are constructing will be having a wind cut in and cut out speed. That means below a wind speed and above a particular wind speed, there will be no electricity which will be generated by the system. So there are large wind resources which are available near the ocean. So generally now seashore are used for construction of the wind farms. So the main advantage which is associated with wind turbines is that the wind is freely available and does not cause greenhouse gases or other pollutants. And although wind turbines can be very tall, they can take up a small area. Therefore, the land below can still be used for any other purpose. And wind farms are appealing to the landscape because they create a beautiful structure. And remote areas that have no other energy sources available can use the wind turbine to produce the supply. The disadvantage associated with wind turbines is the amount of wind which is available is always varies. There will be time when they produced zero electricity. Wind turbine can be very noisy. It can be equivalent to the noise of a air car traveling at 70 miles per hour. And because wind turbines have to be anchored to the ground, this could possibly impact soil structure. And birds and bats are threatened because they can get caught in the turbine. So now, previously we have only type of wind turbines. They are horizontal axis wind turbines. Now we have continuously developing now one more type, that is vertical axis wind turbines, are also available in the system. So the horizontal axis wind turbine have complexity and inaccessible driven train, increase operation and maintenance cost, and the horizontal axis wind turbine have blade, yaw system, gearbox and generators. And high horizontal axis turbines increase substructure cost because it requires a huge structure for construction. And then we have a horizontal axis wind turbine sensitivity to wind direction change with height that will limit the rotor speed in the system. So nowadays, instead of using horizontal axis wind turbine, we are moving towards vertical axis wind turbines, which is insensitive to the wind directions, which will allow for large rotors. And vertical axis wind turbines are simple and accessible and require less operating and maintenance cost. And they also reduce the number of components requirement because it will nowadays we have continuous development in this. So now wind trees are come. Wind trees are the structure which will be like a tree and it will be converting the wind energy in the form of electric energy with the help of small wind turbines which will be constructed like a tree. Then we have hydro. So hydro sources, when we are talking for renewable energy sources, we are talking of very small size hydro energy system. So we are not talking about a big structure requirement for the hydro energy system. We have very unit for hydro energy system. We require a reservoir. Then we have a small pan stop that will be used for rotating the turbine, and then we will be generating the electricity with water kinetic energy. So now continuously we are developing. So nowadays this is a very small hydro power plant which we are using for renewable sources of energy. Instead of using the wind turbine, water turbine in the last, we have this structure which will be rotating have rotating structure from starting, and it will be increasing the capacity of the hydropower plant for generation. Then we have a solar energy systems. This is the most prominent and mostly used solar energy system, renewable energy system, because it requires less installation cost. Only the cost which is associated with the panels is the major cost associated with the solar energy, and it will be using the electricity or heat energy which will be available due to the solar radiation. It will be using that energy for generation of electricity. So the advantage which are associated with renewable are they are renewable, they no pollution. If the area is sunny, solar energy can be used in that remote area and require very little maintenance. And it has some disadvantage also, that doesn't work at night, and solar cells are expensive and can be unreliable unless very sunny climate is there, and solar power isn't much used for high power applications because they produce a small amount of energy, and if we require sufficient amount of energy, then we require that a large area is available where the solar panels will be constructed. So this is the basic. We are having energy from the sun. So incoming solar which will be coming from the sun is almost having the heat energy equivalent to 174 picowatts. That means if we will be able to convert all the sun energy which will be available to us, it will be almost covering all the areas world power requirement. But we does not get this all amount of solar which will be coming from sun. So we will be having a reduced amount of, due to, because some energy will be reflected to the atmosphere and some is reflected by the clouds. Some energy will be reflected by the earth's surface, and some energy will be absorbed by the land and oceans, and some energy will be radiated to the space from the atmosphere. So we does not half of the incoming solar energy reach the earth's surface. So the earth received 174 petawatts of incoming solar radiation at the upper atmosphere, and approximately 30% is reflected back. So by photosynthesis, we will be using this sunlight which will be available to us to convert this. Solar cells, there are continuous development in the solar cells. So nowadays we have three generation of solar cells. The first generation is the major solar cell which we are using, is a single junction silicon cells. So now as we can see that these silicon junction cells will have efficiency of around 20 to 25% nowadays. So they are continuously, research is going on that how we will be able to increase the efficiency of cells. And if we are talking about single crystal silicon, it will be having a efficiency around 16 to 20%. And when we are using multiple crystal silicon, then it will be having a lesser efficiency, that is from around 15%. Now we have second generation of solar cell, in which we have thin films cell, which will be used, which is in having a approximate efficiency of around 20% to 25%, and they have very less payback time requirement because they are not much expensive. And now we have third generation of solar cell, which have multi-junction cells and which have a conversion efficiency of around 30 to 60%. Major focus is the going on in the multi-junction cells. So we have recent developments. So we have photovoltaic solar cells, we have silicon based solar cells, which are a solid structure, but now we have a more flexible type of solar structure which are available, that are dye sensitized or nano solar cells, which are flexible in nature, and they are also not much expensive as compared to the silicon cells. So this is the brief introduction about the renewable sources of energy. So all when we are discussing about renewable sources of energy, we have discussed there are many advantages which are associated with renewable energy sources, but we have limitation of using renewable energy sources, because when we are using a single source of energy, like when we are using solar cells, we does not have any power in the night, and when we are using only single wind turbine, then it will be not producing the electricity all the times. So instead of using a single source of energy, we will be using hybrid energy systems. So hybrid energy system or hybrid power systems will generally consist of two or more than two renewable sources of energy. When we are talking about renewable sources of energy, we are not talking about diesel generator and batteries. Diesel generator and batteries will be working as the backup source. They will be not used as the major source of energy. That means when we are talking about hybrid energy system, there will be two or more than two renewable energy sources which are connected in the system. Battery system and other will be part of the system. So solar battery, it is not a hybrid energy system, or wind battery and diesel generator, it is also not a renewable energy hybrid energy system. We require at least two renewable energy sources which are connected in the system. Then we will be naming them as a hybrid energy system, and they will produce or increase the system efficiency as well as greater balance in the energy supply. So hybrid energy system will be consisting of more than two renewable energy sources. Like in this diagram, we will be having a solar module, and then we have a wind turbine which will be regulated and converted into the AC or DC as per the requirement. And then we are using battery backup and generator system as the backup for the supply. So when we are talking about hybrid energy system, we have many advantages which are associated with hybrid energy system. The most an important advantage is it is low cost modular system, and it is very quick to install because we require less size equipment as compared to a single source system. So then, because the fuel is abundant, free and inexhaustible, because we are using renewable sources of energy, so they are use fuel which they are using is solar radiation and wind speed, so we don't require any kind of fuel. That means they are abundant, free and inexhaustible. They combine two or more renewable energy source based on the natural local potential of the user. They have environmental protection, especially in terms of CO2 emission reduction, because we don't have any fuel burning in the system, so there is a environmental protection associated with it. We have diversity and security of the supply, because generally solar radiation and wind speed are alternate. Generally when we have a wind speed available, we have wind speed is more in night as compared to daytime, so we have almost have secure system which will be supplying the energy. We have costs which are predictable in the system, and then we have a non-influenced by the price fluctuation of the fuel. So as we are aware that continuously we have fuel price which is increasing day by day, so because of the price fluctuation it will not be influenced by that, and wind energy and solar energy can be competitive with nuclear, coal and gas, especially considering possible future cost trends. As the cost of fuel is continuously increasing, so wind energy and solar energy will become competitive with these, and nowadays we are preferring more renewable energy sources as compared to the conventional sources. Then when we are talking about any kind of power system, the major aim or major focus which we are having is that the generation must be equal to the load demand. That means the system supplying the power must be able to supply the complete load of the system. So our major aim when we are talking about any kind of power system is the system reliability. That means the generation must be almost equal to the load. It cannot be less than the requirement or it cannot be more than the requirement. So generally our focus is to generate the electricity almost equal to the load. So we require that we have a complete control strategy we have associated with it, so that the load will be always equal to the generation and we don't require any other additional equipment. So the major challenge which is associated with hybrid energy system is that when we are talking about hybrid energy system, we have all generating assets have unique operating characteristics and constraints and benefit associated with them. When we are talking about renewable resources, as we all know, they are intermittent in nature. We have fossil fuel which is expensive and it will be producing environment pollution. Then we have an optimal generation may only be in a narrow operating range, because all the equipment characteristics will not be a linear characteristics, and it will be depending on the power produced by them. So we require that all the generating systems will be operating in their optimal generation range, and then each assets will have typically has different power characteristics. So when we are combining all these, we require that there will be a controller associated with them, which will be using all the renewable sources of energy. And then the biggest challenge which is associated with design of any kind of energy system is that the load is inherently variable. That means our target is a moving target, and when we are designing any kind of system, it will be very difficult to design a system which will be having a variable target to achieve. And then when we are talking about renewable sources of energy, they are site dependent, because renewable energy sources are depending on the local weather conditions, local solar radiation, wind speed, temperature. So they are site dependent, and we require a site survey with long-term data acquisition and forecasting is to be done for the system. When we are talking about hybrid renewable energy system design, we want to configure and size of the hybrid energy component with the objective that we will be able to supply the power reliably under varying atmospheric condition. So we will be able to supply the load even if the atmospheric condition will change. We require that we minimize the total cost of the system and maximize the system efficiency by efficient energy flow management strategies. So we have a high variability in resources like wind speed and solar radiation. Many components are required when we are talking about hybrid renewable energy system. Then hybrid system have a 65% or more failure rate, which failure due to the component failure or poor maintenance, etc. And then we have a lack of monitoring of the system, which will be also causing failure of the system. And when we are talking about hybrid energy system, we require that the historical data will be stored so it can be easily used when required. We require remote communication system because we have large components which are available in the system. Then we require that our system will be economical viability. Then cost benefit analysis of hybrid system for reasonable payback period is also required, because when we are talking about renewable sources of energy, their initial cost is very high. So we also require that we will be do a cost benefit analysis of the system. So then we have individual integration of each assets type is generally well understood by the technical community, and power quality challenge, that frequency and voltage control will be there, VAR control, grid stability, flicker, harmonics must be controlled by the system, and challenge increase disproportionately when multiple assets are combined because of individual component characteristics. When we will be combining them, so the challenges will increase. So the major challenge, which is how will we implement this dispatch strategy in a hybrid energy system. So who will turn the engines on and off? How is the engine optimized, throttled to follow wind generation? How do we keep engine at optimal RPM level on the basis of load variation? What do you do if the load is suddenly dropped? What do you do when you have excess power in the system? And how do you control the peak saving in the system? So these are the major objectives which are associated with hybrid energy system. And we want that if we will be able to provide the solution of each the question which is associated with it, then we will be having a good hybrid energy system that can be easily used. So when we are talking about hybrid energy system, we have or simple energy system, we have very merits which are associated with them when we are using thermal or coal. They are easy to install and low cost on site construction. Highly integrated, intelligent hybrid power system for control and protection. And if we are using battery backup, it will reduce the diesel generator size, and especially designed deep cycle batteries are nowadays available in the market, which are rechargeable in a short time. It has long cycle life under STC and high depth of discharge. But we have demerits which are associated with them is pollution. It will be having a air pollution, noise pollution or heat pollution. Then we have dependence on the fuel. So as the worldwide price of oil is increasing, and also we have limited resources available with us, transportation of the fuel to the site, then storage of the fuel at the site, and no unattended operation is possible in the system, and high maintenance cost and limited lifetime of the DG are the major demerits of the present systems. So we are for understand what is hybrid energy system and why we are using hybrid energy system. So now we have off-grid electricity, which is from a hybrid energy system. Off-grid electricity means we have a remote location where grid electricity is not available, and then we are using that electricity for generation, for local requirements. So generated by a single source system or by combining two or more type of sources, energy storage in form of lead acid batteries, or nowadays we are using lithium batteries, and it can supply power to AC or DC load or both. It may require AC, DC or both type of buses. Power conversion devices are used. Components or system control or both is used to regulate the overall system operation. So when we are talking about off-grid electricity, with the help of hybrid energy system, we have major issue which is associated with it is to design the system and optimize the system cost. We will be able to supply the load and the cost of the system must be minimum. So we have a optimization problem of the hybrid energy system. So the optimization problem of hybrid energy system is the design optimization problem. So when we are talking about hybrid energy system, the optimization problem is we require that the cost of the component must be minimum, the fuel requirement must be minimum, labor charges and operating maintenance cost will be minimum, and transportation requirement and maintenance cost will be minimum. So to evaluate the most cost effective dimensioning of all components and their operation strategy is the optimization problem associated with hybrid energy system. So the problem is design and investigation of design and investigation of design and investigation of a hybrid system optimization algorithm for the sizing and operation control. We design a hybrid energy system so the size of the component and operation control will be in such a way that the cost will be minimum, and then we can also associate it the forecasting models for the solar radiation and wind speed based on artificial intelligence technique, because these all design will be based on the solar radiation and wind speed data available for that system. So the design optimization problem which is associated with the system is generally the optimization methods are based on the wind speed and solar radiation data of the past years. The methodological data of previous years have significant variation when compared to the present values. So we using forecasting methods for the wind speed and solar radiation. So these are the basic off-grid electric energy systems which we are discussing. So now we have a hybrid energy system in which I have considered that we have three types of renewable energy sources. We have solar PV panels, then we have wind turbines, then we have a pico hydro power plants, and then we will be having a battery system and diesel generators in the system. Then we have battery chargers, inverters, which will be supplying the load on the basis of requirement. It can be AC load or DC load or both. And depending on that, we will be supplying the load. So now this is a typical hybrid energy system. Now we require to design a system operating strategy, how we will be using this solar, wind, hydro hybrid energy system, and how we will be effectively utilizing this system. So when we are using this system, first we will be using the hydro power plant, because the generation cost which is associated with hydro power plant is minimum as compared to all other devices which are connected in the system. So first we will be using hydro power plant in the system. Then we will be using the power which is generated by the wind turbine if the hydro power plant is not able to supply the load in the system. And if these two are also not capable enough to supply the load demand, then we will be using solar panels for supplying of the load. That means when we are talking about hybrid energy system, the load will be supplied by the renewable energy sources first, and then we will be using the secondary source, which will be battery or diesel generator. So if we will be able to supply the load with the help of renewable energy sources, we will be supplying the load by them. If we are not able to supply the load by these, then we will be first using the battery charge which is available in the system. And if battery also is not able to supply the load, that means battery is not charged enough to supply the load, then we will be using the diesel generator in the last. So we first try that we will be able to supply the load requirement with the help of renewable sources of energy. If not, then we will be using battery backup in the system. And if we are not able to supply the load by these, then we will be using a diesel generator. Sometimes a thought comes in mind, we will install a renewable energy system which will be able to supply the peak load of the system, and we does not require any battery backup and diesel generator in that case. But because the load is continuously varying and the cost which is associated with the renewable energy sources is very high, we are not able to install the renewable energy sources which will be able to supply the peak load demand of the system. So for that duration where this renewable sources of energy is not capable to supply the load, we will be using this backup supply to supply the load. So when we are talking about optimization problem, we require to mathematically simulate the hybrid energy system and its various components and their cost. So net present cost, the net present cost is the present value of the cost of installing and operating the system over the lifetime of the project. Then we will be calculating the total annualized cost, which will be the sum of annual cost for each component and other annual cost. Then we will be also including operation and maintenance cost, replacement cost in the system. And then we will be calculating annualized replacement cost. And we have various factors which are arising because of the component lifetime. So replacement cost is only required if the replacement product lifetime is less than the component lifetime. If the product lifetime is more than the component lifetime, project lifetime, then we don't require that we will change the component. Then we will require that we will calculate the cost of energy. So the cost of energy is the ratio of annualized cost associated for producing the electricity to the total useful electrical energy produced by the system. So it will be not the total energy generated by the system, it will be the total useful energy generated by the system. That means the energy which we have used to supply load, or it may to supply the battery, or it will be the power which we have supplied to the grid. So it will be AC primary load, then DC load, then grid, and then we have an annual cost. So it will calculate the cost of energy, and then we will be required to calculate the cost function of the each component. Then, because we are using hybrid energy system, we have various components like solar PV, wind turbine, and etc. So we require that their output will calculate it mathematically. So we have to model all the components power output. So that power output of photovoltaic panel is given by efficiency into area into efficiency into solar radiation available to the system. Then we have a wind turbines. We can have a wind measurement at a different height as compared to the installation of wind turbine. So if there is a difference between these two, then we will be requiring to convert that velocity at the hub height, that is the height at which the wind turbine is installed. So we have this formula which will be converting the measured value at a height HR to the velocity value at the height at which the wind turbine is installed. Then we have a wind turbine generator power output. So you can easily see that we have different terms which are available in this: VCI, VC, VCO, and VCI and VCO. VCO is a cut-off speed. VCI is cut-in speed, below which or above which we will be not getting any amount of power. So that is the power will be 0. Then we have a critical velocity which will be a maximum power which will be generated by the wind turbine. So below cutout speed and till the critical speed we will be getting a fixed amount of power, and within the range of cut-in speed and critical speed we will be having a constant power. Power which will be driven by this formula. We have turbine efficiency multiplied by the generator efficiency, then the density of wind, then area, and then velocity of the system. When we are talking about hydropower plant, so we will be the kinetic energy will be depending on the head height of the water. So we will be calculating the head height of the water, and then we will be calculating the power. Then we will be calculating the power input to the storage battery. So that will be the total power generated by the renewable energy sources plus the total power generated by the DG system, and it will be subtracted from the load requirement of the system, and on the basis of that we will be charging or discharging the system. So delta P will be positive if we have more generation than load. That means battery will be charged, else we will be having power input to the storage battery as negative. That means batteries will be discharging because the load is more and the generation is less. Then we will be calculating the battery state of charge and total renewable power which will be generated by the system. So this is the major optimization problem which we are discussing. So the algorithm for hybrid energy system optimization will consist of, so when we are discussing of any kind of high optimization problem, we require that there will be some inputs, there will be some outputs of the system. Then we have a optimization algorithm which will be optimizing the performance of the system. So we have input to the system, which will be initialization of the algorithm parameters, initial population, algorithm parameters, and the targets of the system. So we have inputs which have system configuration and component size, size of the PV generators, wind turbine, hydro plant, diesel generator, inverters, battery bank, etc. Then we have constraint of the system, that is control setting, preferred battery setting, diesel demand, etc. And then we require to input the parameters, that is weather data, demand, cost, components, characteristics, system parameters, economical factor, etc. And then we have objective function for which we will be required the algorithm to work. So when we are talking about hybrid energy system, we have main algorithm and we have a sub algorithm. The main algorithm will be calculating the calculation of the system configuration and initial cost of the system, and the sub algorithm will be calculating the operating cost as fuel cost plus maintenance cost per overall cost plus admin cost, and it will determine the performance through assessment of the reliability of the meeting demand. And on the basis of these two algorithms, we have merit of design, that is optimization function value. So it will be in our case a cost function. So we require that the life cycle cost, penalty cost, initial cost, operating cost, and penalty cost will be minimum. So if the convergence criteria is meet, we will be reached to the output. Else we will be Anyone want to say something?
Hello, sir, I have a question regarding SSF. So I want to, so actually how the cash flow is being counted there
In which?
in sync factor.
So we will discuss it in last na. First,
Okay.
है ना? Then we will discuss.
Okay.
So this is the basic algorithm which we are using. So the optimization problem which are associated with hybrid energy system. So this is the model which we have used, that we will minimize the total cost of the system. So the total cost of the system will comprise of cost associated with wind turbine, photovoltaic panel, battery, generators, diesel generators, hydro power plant, and other costs. And we have constraints which are associated in the system. So these are constraints which we have applied in the optimization problem. So when we are talking is any of the optimization problem, so this is the major optimization algorithm. All algorithms having an initialization of the system, then we will be evaluating that system. On the basis of evaluation, we will check if the convergence is reached or not. And if the convergence is reached, that means we get the solution, then we will be getting the solution. Else we will be having any process which will be used for evaluating, modifying of the system based on the algorithm which we are using.
There is some internet problem at the speaker end. Please wait.
Hello?
Yes,
How
sir.
that-
Yes, sir. We are able to hear you.
Hello? How that-
Hello. Yes, sir. We can hear.
So any,
Ji, sir.
okay, okay. So when we are talking about any of the optimization algorithm, these are the major steps which are associated with the optimization algorithm. We will be initializing the system, then we will be evaluating the system population, and then we have a process depending on the which type of algorithm which we are using. So when we are talking about any of the optimization algorithm, nowadays majority of the optimization algorithm which will be using this search space, in which we will be initializing a set of population, and then that population will be modified on the basis of the optimization algorithm. So all the optimization algorithm nowadays will be generate the population. We have number of agents which are working in the system, and then on the basis of the various agents and the optimization algorithm you are selecting, their position are continuously modified on the basis of their location, and then we will be getting all the system to move towards. So it may be that some of the agents will be trapped in the local minimum position or maximum position. So we have some method which will modify them also, and will be also moving towards the global best solution. And this is the major process in the optimization algorithm which we are using nowadays. So all the majority of the optimization algorithm are using this process of space. So we have generate some population, then evaluate that population, and then on the basis of that population values, we will be modifying them on the basis of the various algorithm. So when we are talking about hybrid energy system optimization, we have sizing methodologies. So we have various kind of algorithm which we are using. We have classical methods, then we have single artificial intelligence methods, then we have hybrid artificial intelligence methods, and we have computer tools also available which will be used for optimization of the hybrid energy system. So in classical, the graphical method, linear programming, analytical method, iterative methods, they are used for optimization. Then we have a single artificial intelligence method. That means a single artificial intelligence algorithm will be used. They are also divided into two parts: classical methods and modern methods. Classical methods are the methods which are generally used, and modern methods are the new methods which are continuously developed, and generally they are evolutionary algorithm methods which are used for optimization. And now we are more focusing towards combining the artificial intelligence method. So we have hybrid artificial intelligence methods which are used for combining, and we have many computer tools which are available, which will be used for optimization of hybrid energy system. The most used is Homer, and if anyone is working in this area, he can easily see that if we have 100 papers which will be published on optimization methods, almost 70 of them will be using Homer as a optimizing tool. So we have many tools which are available, which we can easily use them. So in this, I have used biography based optimization algorithm. So I will be briefly discussing BBO algorithm because we don't have much time available with us. So BBO algorithm is the algorithm which will be designed on the basis of the migration of the species from one island to the other. So as we all are aware that all the human beings will be surviving or try to be in the place where they will be easily available. So species will migrate between islands via float, swarm, wind, flying, swimming. So this is the basic BBO algorithm. So biography is the animal and plants naturally arranged in a certain region or areas. Major isolated lands area and Iceland offer evolve their own distinct plant and animals. Distribution can change seasonally in response to the availability of resources. So this is the basic philosophy of biography. A population is a group of individuals of the same species living in an area. And population ecology focuses on factor which affects how many individuals or of a species live an area. Ecologists have long recognized global and regional pattern of distribution of organisms within the biosphere. So depending on the climate and environment of the different islands, animals found a way to change for the better to live more properly. No two species can acquire the same needs. Eventually, one will become better adapted through competition for food, shelters, etc. The other will die out or be forced to change the environment. Emigration occurs because the accumulation of random effects on a large number of species with large population. So we have this basic philosophy of BBO algorithm. We have Iceland which have zero population and have large space to live. So in that Iceland, large number of species can come on that Iceland, and no species can leave that Iceland because there are no species in that Iceland. Then we have some Iceland which have low populations, and some species can come on that Iceland and some species can leave that Iceland also. And then we have some Iceland which have high population and we don't have any space to live in that Iceland. So on the basis of that, no new species can come because there are no space available and only species can leave that Iceland. So that Iceland will be known as high HSI Iceland. So Iceland with high HSI will support many species. Iceland with low HSI will support only few species. And Iceland with high HSI has many species that immigrate to nearby habitats because of large population and large number of species that they host. So the Icelands with a high HSI have a high immigration rate and low immigration rate. And Iceland with a low HSI have high immigration rate because of their low population. So this method is used to design the BBO algorithm, and in BBO algorithm we are modifying the habitats on the basis of this formula. We have S species at time t and no migration occurred. Then we have S minus 1 species at time t and 1 species immigrated. That means we have reduced 1 species. And then S plus 1 species at time t and 1 species immigrated. That means 1 species has come in that. So this is the BBO algorithm which we have used for hybrid energy system optimization. We have generate start. We will select the configuration which we use. So we have used solar, wind, diesel and battery backup. Then we generate initial population on the basis of the configuration. And then we will be checking for feasibility and duplicate. Feasibility, we have to check that system will be feasible or not, and it will be in the region boundary conditions which we have specified, and duplicate population will be there. And if there is condition, there are duplicate data, then we will generate new populations. And then we have using cost function, we will calculate the fitness as net present cost. And then we will be calculating the lambda and mu based on the fitness value. Lambda and mu are the BBO parameter which represents immigration and emigration. Then we will be stop if the convergence criteria is met, else we will habitats are selected on the basis of their mu. We have migration operation which will be performed and habitat selected on the basis of probability. Then we have a mutation operation which will be performed, and then we will be checked for feasibility and duplicate data. Then using cost function, we again calculate the cost of the system. We will sort the population and we perform the elitism by replacing the bottom habitats by the best solution. And then we will be again calculating the net present cost of the system. So this is the BBO algorithm which we are used for optimization of hybrid energy system. The input data which are required for the hybrid energy system optimization is hourly weather data for a complete year, which includes the solar radiation, wind speed, water availability if we are using hydro system, then AC and DC demand, normal operating voltage of AC and DC bus, components operating voltage, nominal power output, lifetime in hours, component cost, installation cost, balance of system cost, maintenance cost, overall cost, fuel price. Then we input maximum battery state of charge, minimum state of charge, initial state of charge at the starting of the project, maximum allowed charging current in the system battery, wind turbine installation height, output power versus wind speed curve, then PV panel output current versus radiation curve, inverter or battery charge charger efficiency versus output power curve, discount factor, time horizon, project lifetime, interest rate. So these are the various input data which we are feeding in the system. And we desired that the following data will be available as the output: hours of operation and total fuel consumed by the diesel generator, micro hydro turbine and inverter rated power, PV and wind generator rated power, size of the system, number of batteries, total energy stored or supplied by the batteries, then battery state of charge and CO2 produced by the diesel generators, cost NET, rupees per kilowatt hours, and various graphs. So these are the output which we require. So the designed BBO algorithm has been applied for designing of a solar wind hybrid energy system, and we calculated the various and find out the best configuration cost of energy with respect to the system. So we have PV kilowatt capacity, wind turbine number, then DG kilowatt battery, number of batteries, inverter in kilowatt, net present cost of the system, total energy produced by the system, and then we have cost of energy rupees per kilowatt hour. So these are the various set of data which we have get, and then we have find out the best result with the help of Homer software. Then we have applied GA algorithm, then we have applied PSO algorithm, then we have applied BBO algorithm. So you can easily see that the Homer will be the maximum cost because Homer will be using diesel generator mostly. Whenever there is a difference in the energy, it will not be calculating anything. It will be using DG to generate the power to supply the load. So the capacity of DG power generator is large and it has battery which is minimum less required. So when we are talking about BBO algorithm, we have get the cost of energy as minimum. So these are the various graphs which we get from this. We have load demand, we have PV power, wind power, DG power, then battery input power graph. For complete year, here I have showed only for a small duration of a week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that is 1st January to 7th January. The technical data which is used is PV cost, capital cost of PV panel lifetime, operating maintenance cost, replacement cost, then wind turbine, rated power, capital cost, lifetime, operating maintenance cost, cut in speed, cut out speed, hub height, or replacement cost. Then for micro hydro units, then for diesel generator units, batteries, converters, and then we have a spinning reserve. That means at least 10% of energy must be available at any time. Excess energy, minimum renewable fraction, that means minimum 60% of the load must be supplied by this renewable energy sources at any time. Not less than 60% of the power will be supplied by the renewable energy source. Annual interest rate I have considered as 10% and the project lifetime as 25 years. These are the various solar data. These are solar graphs. First graph represents the monthly average data of the solar radiation, and then second graph is representing the solar radiation for a complete year. Similarly, we have wind speed graph. Then we have a water availability, and then daily load graph. So this is a practical diagram of that. We have a solar PV array that is working as a primary source. Then we have a fuel cell system that is working as a backup source. We have H2O system. Then we have a load controller, diesel generator as the backup source, and battery bank as the backup source. These are the various graphs to understand how the system will be working. So we have different regions. In this first region, SPV, that means photovoltaic, is generating the power and supplying the load. In this, we don't have any SPC, so battery is in operation. And then if in this region we don't have sufficient battery power to supply the load, so we have a fuel cell operation which will be supplying the load. And if battery and fuel cell operation is not able to supply the load, we have DG operation in this range where DG is supplying the load and it will also charging the battery, and then we will be switching off the diesel generator and switching towards battery operation, and then SPC will photovoltaic operation will again start. So this is voltage curve, and then we have a current curve of various systems. So we have designed a real data of Jaipur to test the system, an optimization tool for a hybrid energy system design with lowest life cycle cost while meeting the required load demand has been done. So what you can do, so you can collect enough wind speed and solar radiation data to evaluate the grid connected and standalone hybrid system all over India. Since wind speed and solar radiation may change year to year, incorporate a risk analysis method capable to do multiple simulations changing wind speed and solar radiation data. Then you can economical analysis does not consider the social benefits of renewable energy use, so that can also be incorporated. The professional implementation of algorithm, including the future programming of helpful and advanced feature, and ongoing in-depth evaluation and sustainable maintenance can be done. And concentrate on evaluating many more case scenario with goal to gaining a general understanding how operating decision sizing can be done, and hardware implementation of a scaled down hybrid energy system with proper supervisory hybrid control system can be done. So this is the basic about hybrid energy system algorithm. So you can write down my email ID. So anyone who have any doubt regarding this session, they can send me the query. I will try to solve their query, or we can discuss. I can discuss them with. So write down my email ID, that is Ajay AJAY Bansal BANSAL Ajay AJY Bansal BANSAL @CUH Central University of Haryana CUH.ac.in. सर टाइम है क्या क्वेश्चन के लिए या नहीं?
I would like to invite my colleagues, Dr. Subho Upadhyay, to read the questions from the chat box for the speaker, please.
Thank you, Dr. Rajiv, and also a very thank to Dr. Ajay Kumar Bansal for giving such an elaborate speech lecture on the topic. So, as I had asked one question regarding the sink factor.
सिंकिंग फैक्टर का तो इफेक्ट बहुत ज्यादा है सर, तो उसको पहले तो मिनिमाइज करना पड़ता है. We can discuss it detail. You can call me on my mobile number, then we can discuss, sir.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, one of the question that was asked by the participant, can we do the system cost minimization and performance maximization with single algorithm?
The single algorithm is, but we require main algorithm and sub algorithm. Sub algorithm will be for performance maximization and main algorithm will be for cost minimization. So it will be a single algorithm, but we have to first perform the cost minimization and then we will be performing the performance maximization. There will be two parts of that algorithm. It will be not, you can say it will be two algorithm, but we can use same algorithm for the both the part, but we require two parts of the algorithm, that will be main algorithm and sub algorithm.
And sir, it has also mentioned that sir, the one of the performance like performance maximization or cost minimization, any of them can be considered as a constraint for that matter.
Yeah, constraints, it will be depending what type of constraints we are using. It will be not be fixed constraints. There are different constraints. So design optimization is based on the various constraints. You can consider or you cannot consider. It is on your choice. It is not fixed that I will be using these constraints in the system and that are necessary to be incorporated. It will be on the basis of your choice what part you want to do. Because it is not a small algorithm, it will be a huge algorithm. There are many constraints which are associated in the system. So we are doing the analysis by limiting the constraints for simplicity purpose.
So thank you, sir, for asking that question, Dr. Sri Krishnamurthy ji. So thank you. And sir, I had also worked on the paper that was published by you. So I had worked on that topic. Means I have also used BBO algorithm for my problem. So
Okay.
thank you, sir. Yes, sir. So I had done some work related to optimization, and I had also worked on means installation, means how to install the off-grid system in hilly area, and in hilly area the land is uneven. So I had also used BBO for finding out the shortest path in hilly area,
Okay.
because
Okay.
load centers are at different positions. So I had also
Ah,
used BBO for that. Yes.
good, good, good. So that's why I am saying
So
that
thank you, sir.
there is huge scope of development in these areas. There are many algorithms, many parameters which are associated with the hybrid energy system. So the scope is not limited. Like we can do the social benefit analysis. Till now, only few researchers have done the social benefit analysis which is associated with this. So that can also be incorporated in this system, hybrid energy system, to explain the cost benefit or social benefit advantage. So that can also be done.
Yes, yes. So thank you, sir, for giving such an important presentation So with that, I like to give the vote of thanks to our distinguished speaker, Dr. Ajay Kumar Bansal, Dean of School and Engineering and Technology, Central University of Haryana, Mahendragarh. So the topic that he had covered is hybrid energy system and its optimization, and he had also addressed very elaborately and explained very in detail about wind turbines, solar energy systems, batteries, and why we are going for hybrid energy systems. And he had also explained about BBO algorithm, and also he had shown about how to use BBO algorithm for solving some problems related to case study. He has also shown a case study related uh, of using how to use BBO algorithm for that. So thank you, sir. So for giving such a nice presentation.
Thank
So
you.
with this,
Thank you.
I like to give the virtual dais to Dr. Rajiv Chauhan for giving the virtual memento to Dr. Ajay
So
Kumar
this is
Bansal.
thank you very much on behalf of the organizing team.
Thank you, sir.
And this is the certificate of appreciation. I will send both these by email to you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for being with us and for delivering such a